So if you're like me, you see a lot of absolutely wild claims about how to grow on social media, on TikTok, on Instagram, and these platforms. Instead, in this video, I'm not going to fill you up with a bunch of hopeless tactics that really actually don't work, but they sound cool, so I'll put it in a TikTok and it'll get loads of views. Instead, I'm going to give you some of the most common things I see people doing on social media that actually does not impact their growth almost whatsoever. Now, I've been creating and posting content on social media for well over 10 years, and I've done it on Twitter back when I was quite young. As a teenager, I was posting content on meme pages, and I grew a network of over 3 million followers. I've also run a social media marketing agency for over 3.5 years where I've served 300 plus clients, managing their social media, creating content for them, brands, fitness coaches, supplement companies, you name it. And I also use social media now for my business to get more views and more people to watch my YouTube videos like this. So my promise is that you will leave this video with actual tactical takeaways, not BS strategies, but actual insights that will work. And I'm going to do that by starting off with the things that you have to avoid. Number one, you may have heard of what we call engagement groups. Okay, so you post a piece of content on Instagram, you send it to a group of your friends, you ask them to like, to comment, and to boost up the post in the hope that that's going to get you more views. This used to work. This was actually a very big part of social media growth a few years ago. There was groups you could pay to get into. There was groups where you would just join and they were free groups, and people would do this all day. Okay, you would send in a post, I would like it and comment, and as soon as I then posted, I would expect that you would return that favor. And I would put in my link to my new post and everybody would comment and boost up the post. And yes, that gets you likes and comments if that's what you're after, but it doesn't actually really grow your page anymore. Back then it did. It signaled to the algorithm that your post was desirable and that your post that within a few minutes with only a small number of views was getting a high amount of likes, comments, maybe even shares, and hence we should push your post to more people. Unfortunately, the algorithms are a lot more complex now and a lot smarter, and they know when you're doing this. So you can still do this if you purely just want to have some likes and comments on your posts. Some people do that because they think it looks good and more trustworthy. So if you want it for that reason, go for it, but don't expect this to miraculously grow your account. The second thing I see a lot of people get distracted with is trying to figure out the perfect time to post. In fact, I have seen dozens of short form videos on TikTok and Instagram just in the last couple of months of people saying, only post your content at this time, or never post your content at this time. And the reality is that actually barely matters. Okay, you posting a good piece of content at 2 a.m. versus 10 a.m. versus 5 p.m., it's probably not going to affect the views that much. The one thing you should be looking at is where your target audience is. If your target audience, in my case, let's say I'm posting for my Irish audience, I should probably post at a time that my Irish audience are online. Maybe that's first thing in the morning, maybe it's on lunch break, or maybe it's in the evening. Just common sense. Figure out where your audience is and post at a time like that. Another reason why this is actually just not really important anymore is that when you go onto Instagram, it's no longer chronological, right? You don't just see the most recent posts when you go on. So when Instagram was chronological, this was a lot more important, right? Because when somebody is there refreshing their feed, looking for the latest post, of course, you want to be the person that shows up first, and you do that by posting at the time that that person is online or that most of your followers are online. But because now it works under a completely different system, when I go onto Instagram, the first post I see might be from 5 days ago. So that has no relation to when it was posted. Okay, that has no impact on when I'm going to see it. It's purely based on when that piece of content was posted. Did the first batch of people who saw it engage at a high rate, right? If so, great, we'll push it to more people. Do another test with another bunch of people. If we got more engagement, great, we'll push to another batch. That is literally how social media content works. So timing and when you post has such a little impact on that. Number 3, and again, I feel like this is crazy, the amount of people that still talk about using hashtags as the holy grail. Here's the thing, hashtags do have a place and they can work, and in certain cases they can help you get more views. But hashtags are now more for search. So if you type in a certain hashtag, yes, you will find specific content under that hashtag. And so that piece of content that you saw is benefiting from the hashtag, right? Because you're finding it from the hashtag and it's getting more views directly from the hashtag. But a very small amount of people search that way on social media. TikTok, now the keyword search is so strong that hashtags really don't matter. And on Instagram, most people I follow never use hashtags ever. So the reality is this is something that used to be more important. But here's the way I look at it. Because it's so easy just to add a couple of hashtags to your post, I don't think there's any harm in you doing it. But don't expect that it's going to miraculously grow your account. Okay? A lot of people fall into this trap of thinking that this one little thing is going to change the entirety of how their content gets viewed. That's just not the reality. So you adding one hashtag or adding one wrong hashtag is not going to disrupt how often people see your post. The content is the most important thing. A hashtag, again, is just there for people that are searching via hashtags to categorize and find your content. So again, it's not going to take you a lot of time. So if you have that time and you want to just add a couple of hashtags in, great, go for it. Just don't expect it to blow up your account. The fourth thing I see so many people do is copying content word for word. So we see it where people directly will just download somebody's video and repost it on their page. So let's say some business guy posted a video and you just copy that video, literally just download it and post it on your page. That strategy doesn't work very well. Back when I was on Twitter, right, when I was a teenager growing theme pages, that's pretty much what we did. We would just download a piece of content and repost it on our page. If we could make it unique or add a little something else to stand out, we would do it. But the systems were very different back then. And so if I had a photo and 10 other people posted that exact same photo, we probably would all get some views, right? Now, this is very different. In fact, Instagram made an announcement about this earlier in this year. And so we know they're not just doing this, they're telling us that this is what they're doing. They're actually restricting reach if you do that. And I've seen it myself because earlier this year, if I had a video do well on Instagram, I could download that exact same video and repost it and sometimes get even more views than I got on the original video. But 9 times out of 10, it wouldn't get as much views, but I would still get some good views. So if I had a video get 100,000 views and I reposted it, it might get me an extra 50k views on the new video. That's fantastic. And I've made videos of me recommending you to do that. However, I've seen in the last few months, if I do that, it will actually restrict the amount of views it's getting. Sometimes I'll do it and I'll get a notification, say this looks similar to content you've posted before, we're restricting the reach. So we know firsthand, downloading content and reposting it directly is not as effective as it once was. Now, if you're creating your own content or content for a client, you can still repost content, you just need to make it unique. All right, this is going to sound really simple. I had a video do pretty well the other day on TikTok. It got about 100k views. I downloaded it. I cropped out about 2 seconds in the middle of the video because it was about 50 seconds in total. Just 2 seconds where I just used a certain word that didn't need to be there. Cropped it out, trimmed a little bit off the end of the video, a little bit off the start of the video. We're talking half a second. I sped up a part of the video and I did slow-mo on a part of the video. That's all I did. I re-edited it through CapCut. So downloaded the video, put it into CapCut, made those changes, re-edited, exported the video, posted it again, and it got really good results. So we know that that can still work. Maybe it gets more strict down the line, but for now that's working. But don't just repost directly. Again, your own content or just kind of stealing from somebody else, downloading and reposting it, it's not going to work as well as it used to. I also see this where, for example, let's say you want to do a text on screen video. Okay, so a 6-second video of you working out in the gym, and then you want to put text on the screen, maybe an overview of what your workout is. If you're going to do that, make sure the text, the wording is unique. I've seen firsthand with somebody in my program where they essentially copied word for word what somebody else had in a video, and immediately we can see that the video is just getting restricted. They're not getting views, okay? Immediately the video is just getting capped and it's maybe 20, 30 views is what they get. That's all. Across the board, social media platforms are just going to continue getting more advanced, meaning that they're going to be able to spot more content that's copied, more content that's reposted. Okay, this is why it's really important, and this is actually really a strong reason for if you're offering social media marketing services to businesses, this is such a strong reason of why they should be paying you month after month after month. Because years ago, sometimes a business would hire a social media manager, maybe pay them for a year, and then fire them, and then for an entire year just kind of repost the same content they were posting. Well, we know now that that just won't cut it. That won't do as well, and that'll actually completely stagnate their growth, meaning that they will make way more money if they just paid you to keep doing what you're doing. So as social media managers, this gives us such a strong edge because we can't rely on just copying content. We can't rely on just reposting old content all the time. We're actually creating fresh content, which makes us more valuable to our client. Now look, I'll be honest, I could make a book on this. I could write a book on all the things that I see social media growth experts talk about that are just completely wrong. They're just leading you astray. If you want me to make more videos like this, let me know. Maybe drop a comment below and make sure you're subscribed, because I do have a lot of other content like this coming very, very soon. And if you're curious, what I do now is I actually mentor a lot of people to not only grow their own social media pages, but help their clients grow their pages. I don't just teach them how to grow on social media. I teach them how to get clients, how to onboard their clients, how to create systems, and all of that is from the social media marketing business I built myself. Again, I worked with over 300 clients, a lot of hands-on experience myself, but also a lot of experience of building out a marketing agency with a big team, with lots of systems and everything working together. So if you have any interest in building out a side income with social media marketing, you want to work with some clients, you might want to reach out to me as well. You'll see information in the description of this video on how you can get my help.